Welcome to The Explainer. I am thrilled you're here today because we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating. We are moving way, way beyond the fleeting, volatile trends of the modern fashion world to explore a truly architectural approach to personal style. We're talking about sartorialism. This isn't just about throwing on a nice jacket before you leave the house. This is about constructing a permanent, structural framework for exactly how you present yourself to the world. So, I want you to start by thinking about your own closet for a second. Right now, are you just wearing clothes, or are you stepping into an armor of sophistication? It's a pretty provocative question, isn't it? The modern garment industry has basically trained us to view clothing as highly disposable. But what if your wardrobe was actually a fortress, carefully engineered to project confidence, respect, and meticulous self-care? Consider the loud, volatile winds of fast fashion. It's transient, it's standardized, it relies heavily on massive logos, and ultimately, it's totally disposable. Now contrast that with the quiet, permanent, architectural weight of sartorialism. It champions structural understanding over shock value. It's an investment in timeless individuality rather than just another temporary purchase that ends up at the back of your closet. Section 1. The Sartorial Rebellion. A stand against disposable culture. Let's trace this back to its roots. The word itself comes from the Latin word sartor, which simply means tailor. But as a modern philosophy, it represents so much more than just a style of dressing. It's a distinct way of life. It is a personal stance. Adopting a sartorial approach means you actually respect the labor embedded within a garment, you interpret the language of textiles, and you practice meticulous self-care. It really is a mindset before it's an outfit. In fact, you can view this entire movement as a sophisticated rebellion against generic manufacturing. This aesthetic framework demands that every single fabric choice serves both a structural and a visual purpose. It prioritizes perfect execution over novelty. It demands that a garment respects the natural contours of the human body. In sartorialism, engineering literally meets art. Section 2, Decoding the Aesthetic. Engineering meets art. Okay, let's dive into this and see what it actually looks like in practice. Consider a true masterclass in texture and proportion. Notice the mathematical precision of the silhouette here. We've got an obsidian black, double-breasted tuxedo jacket offering a powerful sculptural profile, but it's paired with elongated midnight black velvet trousers, which infuses so much depth and tactile richness. This flawlessly executes black tie sophistication, but with a highly directional modern edge. It's deliberate, it's informed, and the execution is just spot on. So what are the indispensable pieces of this aesthetic? Think of these as your core building blocks of sartorial literacy. It starts with 2 or 3-piece suits featuring a flawless shoulder line. Then you layer in double-breasted jackets, high-waisted pleated trousers, and super crisp shirts woven from high-grade Egyptian cotton. You ground the whole thing with handcrafted footwear, like a great pair of Oxfords. But remember, this isn't exclusively about formal wear. You can effortlessly achieve casual sartorial elegance with an unstructured blazer, custom-cut premium denim, and a silk pocket square. And for women's wear, this translates beautifully into masculine-cut oversized blazers, sharp pencil skirts, and sophisticated trench coats. But the absolute golden rule across the board is that every hem, every sleeve must be altered to millimeter precision. Now, what's really fascinating is how this aesthetic communicates quiet luxury purely through its color palette. There are no loud, screaming patterns here. Notice how a massive 45% of the palette relies entirely on heritage darks, deep navy, charcoal, sleet, and black. This is perfectly balanced by 35% warm earths, like camel and ivory, and then it's carefully accented with 20% noble jewel tones, think emerald or burgundy. It completely rejects massive logos. Instead, the fabric speaks directly to the observer through its naturalness, its sobriety, and its tactile richness. Section 3. Pioneers and Heritage Houses. The Architects of Style. Let's trace the chronological evolution of this movement. Historically, the institutional birthplaces of this heritage are the tailoring houses on London's iconic Savile Row, like Gives and Hawkes, right alongside Italian luxury giants such as Brioni and Zegna. But the modern crystallization? That really happened in the mid-2000s, catalyzed heavily by Scott Schumann's pioneering blog, The Sartorialist. By photographing real people on the streets who harmonized classical lines with their own personal style, he essentially reintroduced bespoke elegance to the masses. Today, global tastemakers like Lino Ieluzzi and Alessandro Squarzi continue to inspire millions by seamlessly adapting this heritage tailoring to modern, fast-paced urban environments.
And this philosophy isn't just confined to bespoke tailors, it dictates the broader luxury market today. Premier ready-to-wear luxury houses put the sartorial code at the absolute center of their design matrix. Brands like Max Mara, Ralph Lauren Purple Label, and Tom Ford serve as modern institutions, translating these precise architectural codes directly onto today's runways. Section 4, the visual language, capturing authenticity.
Now, bridging the gap between those sterile runways and the reality of the lifestyle requires a very specific visual language. In haute couture, models are often treated simply as human hangers for abstract concepts, placed in these rigid, totally artificial poses. But the sartorial approach? Entirely different. A model is a character. They breathe life and heritage into the garment. They possess innate grace and a mature charisma. In fact, here's a massive twist that completely bucks normal fashion trends. Age, refined facial lines, and silver hair are actually considered huge advantages within this aesthetic. They naturally enhance the historical narrative and the depth of the classic garments.
And the photography perfectly mirrors that authenticity. Instead of sterile studio strobes, photographers document this movement using natural, golden hour daylight. They capture subjects mid-motion. Maybe they're simply drinking an espresso or walking down a historic cobblestone street. Strategically, they use eye-level medium shots to cleanly showcase the silhouette and shoulder drape, and then pair those with extreme macro close-ups. These macro shots highlight the incredibly intricate workmanship. We're talking the texture of the fabric, the absolute millimeter precision of a lapel buttonhole, or the unique structural knot of a tie. Section 5, your sartorial playbook, building your armor. So the crucial point here is how you can actually apply this to your own life.
If you want to elevate your personal style, here is your clear, actionable roadmap. Step 1, and this is absolutely non-negotiable, find a master tailor. Even the most wildly expensive off-the-rack garment is going to fail if it doesn't fit your specific anatomy flawlessly. Jacket sleeves, trouser rises, waist configurations, they all must be altered. Step 2, prioritize quality over quantity. Invest in a capsule wardrobe of just 3 exceptional jackets and 2 flawless suits rather than dozens of generic fast fashion items. Step 3, learn your textile nuances. Stick to natural fibers like merino wool, cashmere, and linen, and avoid synthetic blends that degrade rapidly. And finally, step 4, maintain them with care. Treat these pieces as the long-term investments they are. Press them properly and always store them on wide wooden hangers. As you start building this armor, never underestimate the immense power of hidden details. The true genius of sartorialism genuinely resides within the minutiae. It's the fabric composition of your neckwear. It's the specific, deliberate fold of your linen pocket square. It's the material of your watch strap and the immaculate cleanliness of your leather footwear. These small, very private choices serve as the definitive signature of your personal style.
And here is the absolute mic drop concept coined by Italian-style icons Sprezzatura. It's the art of exhibiting a calculated nonchalance that makes your impeccable elegance appear entirely effortless. You have to remain completely comfortable within your clothes. The ultimate component of any sartorial look is the quiet confidence and noble posture with which you carry yourself. It should look like you just woke up and threw it on, even though every single millimeter was calculated. Which brings us right back to where we started. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. When you open your closet tomorrow morning, what are you going to reach for? Are you going to choose a temporary standardized purchase? Or will you embrace the sartorial rebellion, respect the craftsmanship, and step out into the world wearing an armor of timeless sophistication? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Until next time, stay curious and stay focused.